Good afternoon. Welcome to the future of Minecraft.
Hello. Wow, so many people. Yeah, that's amazing. I hope you have been enjoying yourself here today, right? And as you can see, I have with me Nathan, also known as the Dinnerbone. Hello. And Eric, who is known as Grum.
Hi.
And I like to start the Minecraft panels with like a review of what has happened since last Minecon. So I'm going to go through the different versions that we've done, and then we present some new features and some new things that have been going on. And after that, if there is time, we only have 40 minutes, we will take some questions from the audience. But we'll come to that. So this is actually the agenda. Oh, you see me? Oh, okay. Oh no, never mind. Yeah. Never mind. I saw myself, and okay. So, yeah. So changes since last Minecon. Then a little bit what has been updated in the game that can't actually really be seen when you're playing it, but it's very important for like the plugin API that we've been talking about for several years now. We're also going to talk about the new launcher. Or actually, Eric is going to show you some things that you can do with the launcher, since not everyone maybe have understood why we created the new launcher. Mm-hmm. And then we have some like secrets, or no, not really secret, but some other stuff we want to talk about. So, but let's start with the changes since last Minecon. And at Minecon, we had actually already started working on the update that would become the Redstone update. Yes, but so we were already working on what would be 1.5, and then we have been doing the 1.6, the horse update, and just recently the 1.7, the update that changed the world. So we made 3 major releases. We made 6 patch releases and about 49 snapshots. All of this information is conveniently gathered from the Minecraft Wiki. So very thank you for keeping us up to date. And each of these new versions have become more and more complex, especially considering, well, not especially, but much thanks to that we actually have a bigger Minecraft team now. So here's some stats that you probably can't see, but you can see the bars, which is important, the important part. And what they show is that it's the number of lines that have been committed, that means contributed to the source code, and how many lines that actually have been changed. And the last bunch of bars says it's the 1.7 release, and the red bar shows how many committed Java lines of code, how many Java lines of code that have been committed to the repository. And you can see we changed a lot. I think it's like almost 600,000 lines that has been contributed. If the yellow, the green bar is the amount of actual differences that can be found, and that's about 200,000. So, as you know, every time we do an update, the current mods tend to have some time to catch up, and yeah, it's slightly worse this time, and we're very sorry about that. On the other hand, we are trying to make it as smooth as possible for modders, in a sense that we're making the whole code for the game is becoming more and more like dynamic and not so much hard-coded as has been in the past. Anyway, so let's talk about 1.6. Oh no, 1.4, sorry. And then 1.5. So first we did 1.4, some patch releases with fireworks, and the Christmas surprises. Does anyone remember? Good. Yeah, exactly. The chest looked like presents. Yeah. And then we announced that the Redstone update. This was released in March. It contained a lot of gameplay changes as well, like boosted beacon, nerfed bone meal, harder skeletons, some texture changes, and a scoreboard system. A lot of this was implemented by Nathan.
Yay.
And Nathan was looking for making the hard difficulty a little bit harder. I would say, yeah. But obviously, it was called the Redstone update, so we had some Redstone stuff as well. We had well, nether quartz. It's not really Redstone, but we used that for some of the new contraptions. So we had a dropper and hopper for dropping items instead of launching them, and collecting items and putting them into stuff. And we had the Redstone comparator, which can be used to compare or only trigger things if a certain redstone value has been achieved. So, did you want to add anything? No.
No.
And it says etc. at the bottom because we also did a lot of fixing in order to make redstone a little bit more predictable. Yeah, exactly. There are still some quirky things, but it's much more predictable now. Yeah. So then we started working on 1.6, which was a horse update. It's not a very fancy name, but I wanted it to be focused. And it was released in July. It included, except for the horses, which comes on the next slide, it included a better resource pack system that Nathan will explain in more detail soon. It also contained, we switched Java versions, which may not sound so exciting, but it was very exciting for us because that meant a lot of compatible problems with the old Mac versions. So exciting times. But this was also necessary. We needed to update the technology.
As developers, we get excited easily.
Yeah, and again, game balance changes. We added the block of coal and new clay blocks. And I met someone yesterday who asked where we got the clay block idea from, and you added it. So
yeah, I wanted to add another color block into the game that wasn't quite so vibrant like wool is, because we all know the wool colors. They're really, really bright. Yes. I want to say. So I wanted to add something into the game that was colored. It came in different variations, but they would have to be based off those colors. But at the same time, they need to be much more toned down, something you can actually build with and look kind of natural with other blocks.
Yeah.
So I tried a couple of things. I even tried colored wood, and then I eventually landed on colored clay.
Yeah. And then, of course, we had the horses. And these horses were taken from a mod called Mo Creatures. It was developed by a guy who calls himself Dr. Sark, or John Olarte. Sorry if I don't pronounce that correctly. And his friends who had helped with textures and modeling. And he was a really cool guy to work with because, I emailed him and just asked. Actually, it was more along the lines like, I want to make horses. It would save me a lot of time if you actually could help me with that. And he was super cool guy. So I got the models and I got his source code for the horses, and I did some changes to it, and that was included in the update. So that's a really cool thing. We also added hay bales and leads that you can pull animals with. These were originally called leashes because that was logical to me, but Nathan, who is a proper English-speaking person, he pointed out to me that you only have leashes for dogs, right?
Yeah, leads well, leashes are a much more American name. I think leads are something that you attach to pretty much anything if you want to tie it to something else.
Yeah.
There's leashes after dogs.
Yeah, exactly. So, And we added name tags and carpets, etc. Because there's always like 100 small things that we do for every update. And then we started working on biomes, and a lot of other stuff for the 1.7 update. And it was released just the other week. We worked on biomes, better biome placement, and Nathan did improved fishing, like more interesting fishing. We had a bunch of new flowers. We added, as you can see, I'm just reading the slide here. We added like the NBT, which is the way we store data from mobs and items. We made a system so you can actually type those into commands, so you can use them on when you create items or you create mobs using commands. You can give them special properties. And we added a lot more options for visual quality. So we have what is called MIP mapping, which gives you it changes the texture based on how far it is from the viewer, and it improves the quality of the whole scene a lot. Yeah. It also there's also something called the super secret settings, which changes the shaders, so you get a really big difference. And I'm sure we have someone who will tell you more about that in a second.
Yeah.
So the biomes. So this is taken from, I made a blog post about this. So these are actually it's old pictures, but one of the things that we wanted to do was to make the biome placement less random, so you wouldn't get like a swamp followed by a desert followed by like ice, and then it was a jungle. It was all very random. So we made like first we have like a global biome placement that separates them into 4 categories. We have the frozen biomes, the cold biomes, the medium biomes, and the warm/dry biomes. So this will make the placement of biomes much less random. But at the same time, we wanted them to, well, like one complaint we had in the previous biome system was that when you found, like, for example, a swamp, you knew exactly what it looked like because all swamps were the same. So what we did was we added like spots of unusual biomes on top of all the existing biomes. So you could, like, if you were lucky or unlucky, depending on what you feel like, you could find like a tiger biome, and suddenly there was something weird in the tiger biome, or for any of the biomes. So that was one of the goals. Another complaint we often received was that you would sometimes get a world with like 50,000 blocks of water or ocean biomes, and for that reason, oceans are much smaller now. Some think it's even too small, but since oceans are still kind of empty, I think like you can still find oceans that are like 4,000 blocks long, and that's the size of an Xbox world. So I think that's enough. Yeah. Okay, so we also added the amplified world type, and the reason why I bring it up is there's like a small anecdote to this, and I wanted to change so the world generator could use the whole 256 block height, and not just be limited to the first half. And to make sure that it worked, I made like this super crazy terrain. And while flying around this, I thought, it looks kind of funny, but it's really weird. Then a notch came by, and it's like, oof, you should put that into the game. And I was like, oh, okay. So now we have the amplified game world, because it was a demand from the creator, you know, so you don't say no then. Yes, and then we have changed a lot of stuff under the hood, and I'm going to let Nathan here take over a little bit. I think it's resource packs.
Sure. Okay. So resource packs are I want to say, replacement/upgrade to the old texture pack system. Previously, you'd have texture packs which can give you a new look for cobblestone and stuff like that, which is great. You know, people love this, but it's not very useful in the long run. we kind of replaced this with a more generic and much more refined resource pack system, which essentially works the same way. You have a zip, you have some files in it, it changes the way your game looks. But at the same time, it can change much more than just textures. You can change your sounds. Eventually, you'll be able to add in shaders into the game. You can animate stuff. You can have stuff different sizes to other blocks, all those, lots more, and there's much more room for expansion in the future. In fact, in the future, when we have our plugin system running, every plugin will itself be a resource pack. But that doesn't mean a resource pack will be a plugin.
Yep. No.
One benefit of the new resource pack system, as you can see on the screen, which may look a bit busy right now, but you can actually stack multiple resource packs on top of each other. So you can have one resource pack that makes all the blocks, I don't know, higher definition. And then maybe you want another resource pack which gives you better sounds. Well, previously you'd have to just open up one resource pack, copy everything into it, save it as a new resource pack, keep it updated with all the changes that might ever happen to it, and that's really difficult. So with this, you just apply them both.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Exactly. And then we have the scoreboards. Can you say something about those? Because if you look at the Minecraft Wiki about scoreboards, it's not very easy to follow. But what was the main idea of this?
Okay. The main root of scoreboards came from a very long-standing suggestion that people kept asking, was a way to track the amount of deaths people had in like adventure maps. And I agree with them that it was kind of something that it was very useful to have, but it was too specific for me. It's like, okay, we have this kill counter, but maybe we want to track something else. So I took a very long look at the possibilities of things that people might want to do with these kind of tracking, and I eventually came to this scoreboard system, where anyone can define an arbitrary thing, and then you can start tracking this thing. So maybe you want to track how many times a player has killed a pig. Well, then you just add an objective saying how many times they killed a pig. And the game will automatically keep this updated, so you can set this to display on the side of the screen, or maybe under someone's name, or maybe in the tab menu. There'll be other places in the future. And it'll just say, Dinnerbone 5 kills.
Yeah. So you can actually make a lot of like game modes with this.
Redstone map makers have been abusing this very well.
Yeah. And then we have added, as I said previously, we added like data commands for, you all know the give command because that's a very convenient way of cheating. But we have also added a summon command now, so you can create animals on the fly. And this is, I mean, the intention is that for map makers to create custom maps that use this in various interesting ways. For these commands, you can now apply like a string that says it gives it special abilities, or you can create enchanted swords just by typing the command. And these are kind of complex. It looks like this, but there are. I mean, the Minecraft community is amazing in the sense that everybody wants to share and educate everyone. So there's lots of examples on the internet. I'm not sure if you can see this, but it's the part on the second line of the give command. Well, this is all written on one line, of course, in the game, but in the second line here, it starts with a curly bracket, and in this case, it sets the name of the item to Sting, and the lore to found in a cave, very pointing. So these are one of the new features that came now in 1.7. So that was what happened for the game in the last year. We also created a new launcher, and Eric is going to tell us a little bit about that. So.
Yes. Right. Until 1.6, we had what is now called the old launcher, and it was able to display a Tumblr page with some news. It was able to run the game and/or the demo mode. I don't actually think we actually released that version, or we weren't actually able to push out a version that would allow people to run the demo mode easily.
Yeah.
That is something we can do right now, and it could also let you play offline mode. For us, that wasn't really enough, and we had a lot of requests from the community to be able to change some advanced settings, and we had a request. We had some requests for features ourselves as well. Some of the things that we really wanted was that it would be updatable. So ideally, when you started it, it would try to see if there's an update, and if there was an update, it would download it and install it for you. That is what we have right now. Another thing that we didn't have was asset management. So all the sounds and textures and all the things that we would want to have downloaded from our servers were always downloaded by the game itself, which didn't really give us much flexibility. So we worked around that, and the new launcher can actually do that for us now. Another thing that we added was the ability to update the libraries that the game is actually using. We solved quite some problems with that already. For example, I think there were some crash bugs on Linux that were solved by just having a new version, and there were some other issues on OS X as well. Before, we always bundled everything with the game, or we downloaded static things, but now we have full freedom in downloading and adding things for specific versions. And now that we're arrived at versions, which is, I think, the biggest feature we have in the game, in the launcher right now, is that you can actually use it to launch old versions or snapshots or pre-releases, but not everyone seems to really know how to do that. So I'm going to do the thing that you probably shouldn't do on a presentation, and we're going to demo it for you guys. So bear with me for a second, because all is tangled here. Right. I don't have internet here, so it will look slightly different than it normally should. So normally there would be a Tumblr page that you all know, or some garble things, but we'll fix it in the future. Right, so to normally start the game, of course, this would not say play offline, but we are offline, so it will play offline. And you can just start the game and play like you normally do. So what we added is something called profiles. When you start the game and you log in, a profile is made for your username, for your Minecraft username. You can make a new profile out of that, and it will create a copy. And in this case, I will run a really old version, version 1.2.5. It is not that old. It is still in our latest version list. And the thing that you should really keep in mind, that when you do this, it will write your data. So all of your world saves, it will be written in the form that the game did it at that time. And that might not be compatible with how you actually want to have it done, with how the game does it right now. So if you do this, if you start to run an old version, make sure that you create, that you change the game directory, which is here. Just check the checkbox, and then fill in the directory, a directory that will give you a unique location to store this version. So you don't get any conflicts, it doesn't delete any of your data because it doesn't know about some of the blocks or some of the monsters. And this is about all you have to do. So change the game directory and select the version you want to have. In this case, we want to have release 1.2.5. Save the profile, make sure that it's selected over here, and then you can just play version 1.2.5.
We've gone back in time.
Yes.
Yay.
And with the back in time, we can actually go back way, way further. So let me just make another profile. And I'm not sure if you guys can read this, but we actually, when we found out that we could relatively easily launch old versions, we started to look for all the ancient versions of Minecraft and all the ancient versions we could find. And Marcus actually noticed that we were doing that, and he gave us one of those really, really old versions. And it's actually that old that the game isn't even called Minecraft. It was called Ruby Dung back then, and it was like one of the first development versions that was ever made. So let me just select that one. For this one, we do have to select an extra checkbox, and when you're at home, if you read this message, this will actually warn you that it might not be stable, it might crash, it might be missing features, so you should really change your game directory so you don't have accidents with your current worlds. And then in this list, which will, if we are online, will be significantly longer, I have a very, very, very old version. And I'll just save the profile, make sure it's selected,
Yeah, that's the list of the versions that you can load.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it will automatically download everything needed for it, and hopefully it will work. We can't really test it on every system, of course, but all the versions that are available did work when we added them to the launcher. And this is a seriously really, really old version. And you can see the Steves, they're very, very happy. They're flailing about. Yeah. Something else that we added that is in the profile section as well is to automatically ask us for assistance with fixing crashes. One of the things that Nathan and I noticed when we were developing the new launcher is that people had crash bugs. So when they started the game, it would just stop working, and it is very hard for people to get feedback. So we added something that collects this feedback, sends it to a service we've called Hopper, because it collects things, and it can give you some, possibly some assistance with that. And Nathan will say a little bit more about that later.
Yeah.
One other thing is, if you want to try snapshots, just select this button, you will get the same warning, and then there will be snapshots in this list here. And then you can do snapshots and pre-releases from this.
Yeah.
And, yep.
Thanks.
And I'll give it back to
Thanks
Jens
very
now.
much. Yeah, I just noticed that the clock is already on 13:56. That's crazy. Okay.
Oh yeah, the clock is going like crazy.
All right. So now let's quickly talk a little bit of plugin API. We've been talking about this every MineCon, and we'll continue to talk about this for the future. We've been doing a lot of work in order to make the plugin API possible, and we have high hopes for 2014. But in order to make it even more likely that we get somewhere, we have increased the Minecraft team. And I was hinting at this at the opening ceremony. Oops, whoops. So spoilers. Spoilers. So let's give an applause for Michael, who's coming up here.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I hope you are excited to be here, as I am. I will quickly introduce myself. My name is Michael, known as Sarge.
Yeah, people recognize you.
I'm a game developer since 2001, and since 2010 I work on the project that created a Minecraft coder pack. Most people that make mods will probably know about it. And in case some of my team members are watching this, hey guys, it's great that you're there and help me. And I will be working very closely with, probably mostly with Eric in the beginning, so that we can work on the API.
Yeah, so Michael here, he has almost worked on Minecraft as long as we have, or maybe longer, you know.
Maybe longer.
Yeah, because he has been doing this Minecraft coder pack, which has been the way to do mods it still is the way to do mods, and it's an awesome tool. And we were very happy to have Michael on the team. But we have one more person who is also from the Minecraft community. His specialty is more towards rendering and technology, and he's a really cool guy. So give an applause for Ryan.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Is my mic working?
Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. So, my name's Ryan Holtz. I've worked in the video game industry since 2005 or so. But this is actually the first game that I've worked on that people actually seem to universally like, which is kind of cool. I like cats, Thai food, movies that make you cry, and long walks on the beach. I'm a Leo. And I'm going to be working on the renderer. It's a pleasure to meet you all.
Yeah, so Ryan has already moved to the office in Stockholm, so it's going to be a good year. So we are as the night That's what the slide was hoping for. Yeah, we are high hopes for 2014. It's going to take a long time to make this system so flexible as we want it, and we're taking it step by step. I mean, if you remember the graph I showed you in the beginning, the coming updates will probably have even more changes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm going to move over to a little bit of the other stuff that I was hinting at. So we have first, a lot of people ask how to give suggestions to us, and it's actually we love getting them on Twitter and email, but it's very difficult for us to like take care and like handle them properly. So what we actually prefer is if you can go to the Reddit community called Minecraft Suggestions, make your suggestion in a new post or try to find one that has the same idea. And if you find one, then you upvote it, because then when we are bored or we have some extra time and we're like, oh, what can we do with this game? I don't have any ideas. Then it's an awesome place to go and like then we can browse and we can see on it, oh, this has a really cool idea or this has really many upvotes. It's a much easier way for us to take care of the suggestions. So this is a great place to go. Also, we have a bug tracker, and the hopper, as mentioned earlier, it's at Mojang@Atlassian.net. And don't make the polar bear sad. we have like, I don't know,
53%, that is doubles.
yeah. That means like, what's that? 15,000 of the bug reports are duplicates. So try, but it's not only by check if the bug is already submitted, but also when you submit a bug report, make sure that the title clearly says what the problem is, because sometimes the title is "It didn't work," and even if someone else had the same problem, they will probably not find your end, and they will create another duplicate. But at the same time, we're super grateful for the bug reports. That's very, very. We're very grateful that you are actually helping us find this problem. Some of the bug reports are super detailed.
I just want to say something about that. The bug tracker is actually run by a large group of volunteers from the community. They do this in their free time, and they review every bug report that comes in, make sure it's not duplicate and all that. Please don't be mean to them, and we are super grateful for all of their help. So can we get a round of applause for the people who help us? They make our lives just that much easier.
The IC channel?
Yes. I think we should also give a shout out to the people that help when there's actually no help to be given. The people from the Minecraft help channel on Espernet. They have done an awesome job helping various people trying to solve driver problems and all those things that our support can't help with.
Yeah.
So give them a hand as well, please.
Do you want to say something?
About Hopper? Yeah. Okay, we don't have that much time left, but I'll just briefly run through what Hopper is. It's a very lovely name because we love to name stuff. For this new service which, whenever you crash inside Minecraft, the launcher detects it. It asks us, hey, do you know what this crash is? And then if we've seen this crash before and we've tagged it, and we can recognize, for example, like, oh, this crash means that your graphics drivers are outdated. Then we can actually say to the user who just experienced this crash, in like under a second, we'll just say, hey, this is because your drivers are outdated, click this link, we'll help you with it. And it has been a great help, I think, for lots of people who have had issues with crashes in the past.
All right, so now some new stuff. Twitch was announced during the opening ceremonies. This was a surprise to me because of what this was the announcement, but now you already know. So I'm going to move over to the most common question I've heard so far. Even Captain Sparkles asked this, and that is, will we record mics? And
The answer is yes, unless you don't want it to.
Exactly.
Yeah. Another thing that wasn't really mentioned so far, and that is really good if you actually want to use Twitch, is that we will have chat integration within the game. So you will be able to see what the people watching your stream are chatting to you really in the game. And
We've actually gone a bit higher than most other games. I think, in fact, we're the first game to actually provide this.
yeah.
If you don't want to use the built-in streaming, but you're still a streamer and you want to stream Minecraft, you can use the chat without streaming from within Minecraft. So if you really want to, yeah. So if you want to stream with something else, or maybe you're not even streaming at all, you just want to talk to people, you can do that from within the game. There's also some filtering options, so you can say, I want to see chat from everybody, I want to see chat from subscribers, moderators, or nobody.
Yeah, it's going to be good. and next up is Minecraft Realms, which is our kind of service. And I'm not going to talk too much about this, but we're opening the doors now. And in your swag bag, you have a gift card that is worth 30 days on a server. This does not mean that all of you have to create your own world, because you can combine these gift cards on the same world. So if all of Minecon goes together on one world, it will be up for a very, very long time. But yeah, so if you have 4 gift cards, you will have a server up for 120 days. Then. Yes. Now I don't. Yes. It was done. Yes. Thank you. So we made it. We have like 3:30 remaining, so we can take like 2 questions.
Yeah.
Do we have anyone?
Oh, we have a
Yeah,
mic
we
up front.
have a mic here. Okay.
By the way,
To
while you're all...
Dinnerbone, what do you have to like further improve the mobs?
I'm sorry?
Like what are you doing to further improve the mobs?
How we program them?
Like what new movements or anything are being added into the game?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't think the speaker setup is good here.
No.
Yeah.
Can we...
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'll answer your question when
Sure.
I get back down there.
Oh.
Sure. Hey. So I really love when you guys do seasonal things, like when you have the pumpkins on the zombies, and when we had the chests that were Christmas presents.
The seasonal events, yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing something weekly, like that happens, like in Animal Crossing, there's KK Slider on Friday and Saturday nights? Like I don't know, a mob that appeared like once a week, like something like that?
Okay, so the question is, have we ever thought about kind of expanding the seasonal surprises we do, like Christmas, chests, Halloween, mobs and all that? There's one feature that I really want to work on, which is game seasons, where the game actually goes through different seasons.
Yeah.
And I think this would be tied into that. I can't say when that's going to be done, but it'll be tied into it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Justin, and I would like to ask. At what point do you think that while you're developing the game, you'll reach a limit where you've reached a limit with the engine that will warrant the use to actually make a sequel?
I'm sorry. Can you speak really close
Sorry.
to the mic, please?
Yeah.
At what point do you think that you've added so much to the game that you've reached the limitations of the engine that it would warrant a sequel to Minecraft?
Okay. At what point we reach the limitations of the engine?
The
Yeah.
Minecraft engine.
We're actually trying to actively remove these limitations right now, and that is what is making it relatively a long process before we can actually get to the plugin API, because in the plugin API, all of these limitations, or at least most of them, should be removed.
So if it was up to you guys, you'd never actually make a sequel?
No, exactly.
You
I
never
mean,
wanna make a sequel. That's excellent. Thank you.
there's a limitation on computer power, but
Yeah.
You're welcome.
We have time for a
Why
very
is it
quick
the
one.
server owner's job to get rid of hackers from the game? And what plans does Mojang have?
What
So-
plugins does Mojang have? Sorry?
Why is it server owner's job to get rid of hackers from the server? What plans does Mojang have to combat this?
What language?
Now, what,
No.
the question is about people that are griefing the server, hacking
It's
the server?
not griefing. It's more specifically hacking on the server, using illegal hacked clients to hack on servers.
Using illegal hack clients to hack into people's servers, and what do we do to prevent this?
Well, whenever we know about something that is exploitable, we'll try to fix it. So
Yeah.
if there's something out there that is, I don't know, that actually bypassing some of the basic things, then
Any
let us know.
exploits, we try to fix them, and we usually end up doing a release like as soon as we hear about it to
Yeah.
try and fix them.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you again, everybody.
Yeah, we
Thanks.
seem to have run out of
Thanks.
time.